नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः।
हरे कृष्णा
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा हरे हरे
हरे हरे हरे राम हरे राम राम
हरे।
राम हरे हरे।
So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 12th chapter, 21st shloka. Dhanvinam agranir esha
धन्विनामग्निरेषा
तुल्यश्चार्जुनयोर्द्वयो
तुल्यश्चार्जुनयोर्द्वयो
हुताश्च इव दुर्दर्शा
हुताश इव दुर्धर्ष
समुद्र इव दुष्टरा समुद्र।
समुद्र इव दुष्टरा।
Translation: among great bowmen, this child will be as good as Arjun. He will be as irresistible as fire and as unsurpassable as the ocean. Purport: in the history, there are two Arjunas. One is Kartavir Arjun, the king of Haya, and the other is grandfather of child. Both Arjunas are famous for their bowmanship, and the child Parikshit is foretold to be equal to both of them, particularly in fighting. A short description of the Pandavas Arjun is given below. Pandav Arjun, the great hero of the Bhagavad Gita, he is a Kshatriya son of Maharaj Pandu. Queen Kunti Dev could call for any one of the demigods, and thus she called Indra, and Arjun was born by him. Arjun is therefore a plenary part of the heavenly king Indra. He was born in the month of Falguna, February, March, and therefore is also called Falguni. When he appeared as the son of Kunti, his future greatness was proclaimed by air messages, and all the important personalities from different parts of the universe, such as demigods, Gandharvas, the Adityas from the sun globe, the Rudras, the Vasus and Nagas, the different rishis, sages of importance, and the Apsaras, the society girl of heaven, all attend the ceremony. The Apsaras pleased everyone by their heavenly dances and songs. Vasudev, the father of Lord Krishna and the material uncle of Arjun, sent his priest representative Kashyapa to purify Arjun by all the prescribed samskaras. So Vasudev sent priest representative Kashyapa to purify Arjun by all the prescribed samskaras or reformatory processes. His samskar of being given a name was performed in the presence of the rishis. So his samskara of being given a name was performed in the presence of rishis, residents of Shringa. He married 4 wives: Draupadi, Subhadra, Chitrangada, and Ulupi, from whom he got 4 sons of names Shrutakirti, Abhimanyu, Babruvahan, and Iravan, respectively. During his student life, he was entrusted to study under the great professor Dronacharya, along with other Pandavas and Kurus. But he excelled everyone by his studious intensity, and Dronacharya was especially attracted by his disciplinary affection. Dronacharya accepted him as the first great scholar and loved heartily. to bestow upon him all the blessings of military science. He was so ardent a student that he used to practice bowmanship even at night. And for all these reasons, Professor Dronacharya was determined to make him the topmost bowman of the world. He passed very brilliantly the examination in piercing the target, and Dronacharya was very pleased. Royal families at Manipur and Tripura are descendants of Arjuna's son Babruvahan. Arjuna saved Dronacharya from the attack of crocodile, and the Acharya, being pleased with him, rewarded him with a weapon of the name Brahmashiras. Maharaj Drupad was inimical toward Dronacharya. Maharaj Drupad was inimical towards Dronacharya, and thus when he attacked the Acharya, Arjuna got him arrested and brought him before Dronacharya. So here it is mentioned Maharaj Drupad was inimical towards Dronacharya, and when he attacked the Acharya, he besieged a city of the name Ahitchatra belonging to Maharaj Drupad, and after taking it over, he gave it to Dronacharya. The confidential treatment of the weapon Brahmashiras was explained to Arjun, and Dronacharya was promised by Arjun that he would use the weapon if necessary when Dronacharya personally became an enemy of the Lord. That he would use the weapon if necessary when Dronacharya personally became the enemy of the Lord. By this, the Acharya forecasted the future battle of Kurukshetra, in which Dronacharya was on the opposite side. Sorry. So I'll read again. Seems like I read something wrong. From here, the confidential treatment of the weapon Brahmashiras was explained to Arjun, and Dronacharya was promised by Arjun that he would use the weapon if necessary when Dronacharya personally became an enemy of Arjun. By this, Acharya forecasts the future battle of Kurukshetra, in which Dronacharya was on the opposite side. Maharaj Drupad, although defeated by Arjun on behalf of his professor Dronacharya, decided to hand over his daughter Draupadi to his young combatant, but he was disappointed when he heard the false news of Arjuna's death in the fire of a Shalak house, intrigued by Duryodhan. He therefore arranged Draupadi's personal selection of a groom who could pierce the eye of a fish hanging on the ceiling. This trick was especially made because only Arjun could do it, and he was successful in his desire to hand over his equally worthy daughter to Arjun. Arjuna's brothers were at the time living incognito under the agreement with Duryodhan, and Arjun and his brothers attended the meeting of Draupadi's selection in the dress of Brahmanas. When all the Kshatriya kings assembled saw the poor Brahman had been garlanded by Draupadi for her Lord, Shri Krishna disclosed his identity to Balaram. Okay. He met Ulupi at Haridwar, and he was attracted by that girl belonging to Naglok, and thus Irvahan was born. Similarly, he met Chitrangada, a daughter of King Manipur, and thus Babruvahan was born. Lord Shri Krishna made a plan to help Arjun to kidnap Subhadra, sister of Shri Krishna, because Baldev was inclined to hand her over to Duryodhan. Yudhishthir also agreed with Shri Krishna, and thus Subhadra was taken by force by Arjun and then married to him. Subhadra's son is Abhimanyu, the father of Parikshit Maharaj, the posthumous child. Arjuna satisfied the fire god by setting fire to the Khanda forest, and thus the fire god gave him one weapon. Indra was angry when the fire was set in the Khanda forest, and thus Indra, assisted by all other demigods, began fighting with Arjun for his great challenge. They were defeated by Arjun, and Indradev returned to his heavenly heavenly kingdom. Arjuna also promised all protection to one Mayasur, and the latter presented him one valuable conch shell celebrated as Devadatta. Similarly, he received many other valuable weapons from Indradev when he was satisfied to see his chivalry. When Maharaj Yudhishthira was disappointed in defeating the king of Magad, Jarasan, it was Arjun only who gave King Yudhishthira all kinds of assurances, and thus Arjun, Bhima, and Lord Krishna started for Magad to kill Jarasan. When he went out to bring all other kings of the world under the subjection of the Pandavas, as well as was usual after the coronation of every emperor, he conquered the country named Kalinda and brought in subjugation King Bhagadatta. Then he traveled through countries like Antagiri, Ulukapura, and Modapura and brought under subjugation all these rulers. Okay, anybody else wants to read? Okay, Anand Kishore will read.
Sometimes he underwent severe types of penances, and later on he was rewarded by Indradeva. Lord Shiva also wanted to try the strength of Arjuna. And in the form of an aboriginal, Lord Shiva met him. There was a great fight between the two, and at last Lord Shiva was satisfied with him and disclosed his identity. Arjun prayed to the Lord in all humbleness, and the Lord, being pleased with him, presented him the Pashupata weapon. He acquired many other important weapons from different demigods. He received Dandastra from Yamraj, Pashastra from Varun, and Antardhanastra from Kuvera. I'm also remembering Ansh. The treasurer of the heavenly kingdom. Indra wanted him to come to the heavenly kingdom, the Indraloka planet beyond the moon planet. In that planet, he was cordially received by the local residents, and he was awarded reception in the heavenly parliament of Indradev. Then he met Indradev, who not only presented him with his Vajra weapon, but also taught him the military and musical science as used in the heavenly planet. In one sense, Indra is the real father of Arjuna, and therefore indirectly he wanted to entertain Arjuna with the most famous society girl of heaven, Urvashi, the celebrated beauty. The society girls of heaven are lusty, and Urvashi was very eager to contact Arjuna, the strongest human being. She met him in his room and expressed her desires, but Arjuna sustained his impeachable character by closing his eyes before Urvashi, addressing her as mother of the Kuru dynasty and placing her in the category of his mothers, Kunti, Madri, and Sachi Devi, wife of Indradev. Disappointed, Urvashi cursed Arjuna and left. In the heavenly planet, he also met the great celebrated ascetic Lomasha and prayed to him for the protection of Maharaj Yudhishthir. When his inimical cousin Duryodhan was under the clutches of the Gandharvas, he wanted to save him and requested the Gandharvas to release Duryodhan. But the Gandharvas refused, and thus he fought with them and got Duryodhan released. When all the Pandavas lived incognito, he presented himself in the court of King Virat as a eunuch and was employed as the musical teacher of Uttara, his future daughter-in-law, and was known in the Virat court as the Brinnala. As Brinnala, he fought on behalf of Uttara, the son of King Virat. and thus defeated the Kurus in the fight incognito. His secret weapons were safely kept in the custody of a Somi tree, and he ordered Uttara to get them back. His identity and his brother's identity were later on disclosed to Uttara. Dronacharya was informed of Arjuna's presence in the fight of the Kurus and the Virats. Later on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna killed many great generals like Karna and others. After the battle of Kurukshetra, he punished Ashwatthama, who had killed all the 5 sons of Draupadi. Then all the brothers went to Bhishma Dev. It is due to Arjun only that the great philosophical discourses of the Bhagavad Gita were again spoken by the Lord on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. His wonderful acts on the battlefield of Kurukshetra are vividly described in the Mahabharata. Arjun was defeated, however, by his son Babruvahan at Manipur and fell unconscious when Ulupi saved him. After the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the message was brought by Arjun to Maharaj Yudhishthir. Again, Arjuna visited Dwarka, and all the widow wives of Lord Krishna lamented before him. He took them all in the presence of Vasudev and pacified all of them. Later on, when Vasudev passed away, he performed his funeral ceremony in the absence of Krishna. While Arjun was taking all the wives of Krishna to Indraprasth, he was attacked on the way and he could not protect the ladies in his custody. At last, advised by Vyasdev, all the brothers headed for Mahaprasthan. On the way, at the request of his brother, he gave up all important weapons as useless, and he dropped them all in the water. Hare Krishna. Amazing purport. Prabhupada has described so many pastimes here. I only joined in the middle not the whole thing, but Prabhupada has explained so many wonderful pastimes of Arjuna in this purport. Feel like reading again and again. I don't have anything else to share. Anyone else wants to share anything?
Hare Krishna. Thank you for reading. So, anybody learned any new point here in this whole purport? All the devotees who can tell one new point, whatever they heard new here about the life of Arjun. Prabhupada has concised it so much in one paragraph. So I was thinking it is interesting that Prabhupada was telling the Bhagavad Gita. At that time, Prabhupada did not write everything about Arjun, all this. He's writing it here in the Bhagavatam, in the pages of Bhagavatam. So this kind of shows how Prabhupada wanted to keep the Bhagavad Gita to the point and not increase its size too much. While Bhagavatam, Prabhupada was able to put everything and whatever he felt was helpful for devotees to advance and know these literatures. So a lot of the content of other scriptures in Mahabharata is included here. So Ansh, what was the new point you read from this? You want to tell loudly? Tell loudly. Who had all these weapons?
Arjuna.
Arjuna had weapons. What all weapons are?
Pashupastra.
Pashupatastra,
Dandastra.
Dandastra, Pashastra. Okay. What else? Antardhanastra. So Ansh found few new astras which he was not aware about, which Arjuna had. Okay. Anybody else would like to share any points they didn't know?
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Please go ahead, Peter.
Andy, after you, please.
Hare Krishna. I was unable to understand the last paragraph where they say that Arjun, when he went to Dwarka and after Shri Krishna had passed away, he was trying to bring all the widow wives of Shri Krishna. But they say that he pacified them in the presence of Vasudeva. He performed his funeral ceremony in the absence of Krishna. और उसके पहले बोलते हैं he took them all in the presence of Vasudeva and pacified all of them. These two things I have not been able to understand. Can you please?
Yes, Mataji. So Mataji is mentioning about this. Again, Arjuna visited Dwarka and all the widow wives of Krishna, of Lord Krishna lamented before him. He took them all in the presence of Vasudev. Vasudev is the father of Krishna, right? He took all of them in the presence of Vasudev and pacified all of them. Later on, when Vasudev passed away, he performed his funeral ceremony because Krishna was not there, right? So who will do the ceremony for Vasudev, final rites? So that was done by Arjun.
Thank you. Yes. Actually, I was confused by this Vasudeva and Vasudeva. This difference of
Yeah. Vasudev is the father and Vasudev is the son.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yes, I think Rakshita Mataji was going to share something.
Prabhuji, I didn't know about the son of Arjun, Babru Vahan. And then he was, it's mentioned, please correct, that he was harmed by Babru Vahan in some fight. So who was the mother of Babru Vahan, Prabhuji?
Babru Vahan defeated Arjun in the fight.
He defeated Arjun, but who was the mother of Babru Vahan?
So Babru Vahan writes here, right? Let me check. Out of these two, one is so Ulupi, Iravan. So Ulupi got Iravan, and Chitrangada got Babru Vahan. Actually, both were very, very powerful. Both of these sons of Arjun. And Babru Vahan defeated. Is that okay, Matan?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody else like to mention any points? So, any other new points devotees want to highlight which they just learned today by this summary of Arjuna's life? Okay, so if nobody else has anything to share, we'll keep moving. Who would like to recite the Sanskrit 1:12:22? Okay, Anand Kishore wants to recite.
Nagendra iva vikranto. Nagendra iva vikranto.
Iva Vikranto
Shivyo himavaniva.
Nishevo Himavaniva
Titikshur vasudevasau.
Titikshir Vasudevaso
Sahishnu pitaraviva.
Sahishnu Pitaraviva.
Translation: This child will be as strong as a lion and as worthy a shelter as the Himalaya mountains. He will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents. Purport: One is compared to the lion when one is very strong in chasing an enemy. One should be a lamb at home and a lion in the chase. The lion never fails in the chase of an animal. Similarly, the head of the state should never fail in chasing an enemy. The Himalaya mountains are famous for all richness. There are innumerable caves to live in, numberless trees of good fruits to eat, good springs to drink water from, and profuse drugs and minerals to cure diseases. Any man who is not materially prosperous can take shelter of these great mountains, and he will be provided with everything required. Both the materialist and the spiritualist can take advantage of the great shelter of the Himalayas. On the surface of the earth, there are so many disturbances caused by the inhabitants. In the modern age, the people have begun to detonate atomic weapons on the surface of the earth, and still the earth is forbearing to the inhabitants, like a mother who excuses a little child. Parents are always tolerant to children for all sorts of mischievous acts. An ideal king may be possessed of all these good qualities, and the child Parikshit is foretold to have all these qualities in perfection. Hare Krishna. So the qualities mentioned in this purport are so the first is being as strong as a lion while chasing an enemy. So that is the first one. The second is worthy of taking shelter is the Himalaya mountains, because they have all the innumerable different richness, such as fruits to eat, springs to drink water, minerals and drugs to cure diseases, and caves for shelter. So that's the second one. The third one is forbearing like the earth, just like a mother is always excusing a little child. Similarly, Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, is always forbearing, and parents. And the last quality is tolerance, just as parents are always tolerant of their children. And an ideal king possesses all of these good qualities. And Parikshit Maharaj was told to have all these qualities in perfection. Hare Krishna. That's all I have to share. Anyone else wants to share anything? Should we move on to the next verse?
Yes, Mataji.
Anyone wants to read?
I can read, Mataji. Pitamaha samah samye.
Pitamaha samye
Prasade girishopamaha.
prasade girishopamaha
Ashraya sarvabhutanam.
Ashaya sarvabhutanam
Yatha devo ramashraya.
Yatha devo ramashaya.
Translation. This child will be like his grandfather, Yudhishthir or Brahma, in equanimity of mind. He will be munificent like the Lord of Kailash Hill Shiva, and he will be resort of everyone like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, who is even the shelter of Goddess of Fortune. Perfect. Mental equanimity refers both to Maharaj Yudhishthir and to Brahma. the grandfather of all living beings. According to Sridhara Swami, the grandfather referred to is Brahma, but according to Vishwanath Chakravarti, the grandfather is Maharaj Yudhishthir himself. But in both cases, the comparison is equally good because both of them are recognized representatives of the Supreme Lord. And thus, both of them have to maintain mental equanimity, being engaged in welfare work of the living being. Any responsible executive agent at the top of administration has to tolerate different types of onslaughts from the very persons from whom he works. Brahmaji was criticized even by the gopis, the highest perfectional devotee of the Lord. The gopis were dissatisfied with the work of Brahmaji because Lord Brahma, as creator of the particular universe, created eyelids which obstructed their seeing Lord Krishna. They could not tolerate a moment's blinking of the eyes, for it kept them from seeing their beloved Lord Krishna. So, what to speak of others who are naturally very critical of every action of a responsible man? Similarly, Maharaj Yudhishthir had to cross over many difficult situations created by enemies, and he proved to be the most perfect maintainer of mental equanimity in all critical circumstances. Therefore, the example of both grandfathers for maintaining equanimity of mind is quite fitting. So, in this paragraph, they are comparing Brahmaji and Yudhishthira Maharaj to be a grandfather. Brahmaji is to be considered the grandfather of all living entities, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is here for the Parikshit Maharaj. And then Prabhupada is telling about the qualities of Brahmaji and Yudhishthira Maharaj, that they always maintain their mental equanimity. Being a king is not an easy job, so they had to maintain, so many people in their kingdom, and Brahmaji is maintaining the living entities. And then here the example is given, which we have heard the past time, that how the gopis were, complaining, not satisfied with the work of Brahmaji because Brahmaji gave them eyelids being the creator of the universe, and it actually and for they didn't want to miss Krishna's they didn't want to miss to see Krishna even for a second, even for a while. And then because of the eyelids, when they the blink of the eyelid could restrict that seeing Krishna, so they were not satisfied. So Prabhupada is saying, then what to talk about the people, those who are already critical and always complaining every action of responsible man. And Maharaj Yudhishthira had to cross over many difficult situations being the king, but he always he proved himself to be the most perfect maintainer of mental equanimity in critical circumstances. Therefore, this example of both being grandfather and being because we say grandfather is like in the family is the head and being very responsible, and we expect our older people in the family to have this mental equanimity or be more balanced in the family when it comes to when they're in critical situation. So here comparing both of them to be the grandfather is quite fitting. Lord Shiva is a celebrated demigod who award gifts to beggars. His name is therefore Ashutosha, or one who is pleased very easily. He is also called Bhutanath, or the Lord of common folk, who are mainly attached to his because of his munificent gifts, even without consideration of the after effects. Ravana was very attached to Lord Shiva, and by easily pleasing him, Ravana became so powerful that he wanted to challenge the authority of Lord Ram. Of course, Ravana was never helped by Lord Shiva when he fought with Ram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Lord of Lord Shiva. To Vrakasur, Lord Shiva awarded a benediction which was not only awkward but also disturbing. Vakasura became empowered by the grace of Lord Shiva to vanish anyone's head simply by touching it. Although this was avoided by Lord Shiva, the cunning fellow wanted to make an experiment of the power by touching the head of Lord Shiva. Thus, the Lord had to take shelter of Vishnu to save himself from trouble. And the Lord Vishnu, by his illusory potency, asked Vakasura to make an experiment with his own head.
Wow, beautiful.
The fellow did it and was finished himself. And so the world was saved from all sorts of trouble by such a cunning beggar of the demigods. Haribol. The excellent point is that Lord Shiva never denies anyone any sort of gift. He is therefore the most generous, although sometimes some kind of a mistake is made. So here Prabhupada is telling about the Lord Shiva, that he's very generous and anybody can please him with little devotion also. And he's famous or celebrated demigod who award gifts to beggar. So, and he's being called Ashutosha because he Ashutosha is the one who can be pleased very easily. So here Prabhupada is trying to say that Lord Shiva actually is approached by the beggars, those who wants gifts from him, and be satisfied, and not even considering sometimes the after effects that Ravan was also very, very attached to Lord Shiva and always, do a lot of austerities to please him. And then he awarded with so many power, but then he forgot that he is actually wanting all those powers to fight with the Lord of Lord Shiva. So that's how. And then Rakasur experiment, we have Prabhuji shared in past, told that how he was trying to do so, and that one illusionary potency of Krishna had made this experiment done on himself, and then he actually killed himself by doing this, and so the world was saved from all sort of trouble by such a cunning beggar of demigods. So they are called the cunning beggars, those who approach Shiva for the gifts, for the materialistic gifts. But if somebody approach Shiva to reach Krishna, then they should be considered intelligent, because he's a great Mahajan. Prabhuji, am I correct? Am I using the right term?
Mataji, what's your question again? Sorry,
So
missed it.
Mataji, I was calling Lord Shiva great Mahajan. Am I correct?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
He's one of the Mahajanas. Yes, the 12
Mahajan.
Mahajanas.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So I'll go forward. Rama means the goddess of fortune, and her shelter is Lord Vishnu. Rama means the goddess of fortune, and her shelter is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is the maintainer of all living beings. There are innumerable living beings, not only on the surface of this planet, but also in all other hundred or thousands of planets. All of them are provided with all necessities of life for the progressive march. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. March towards the end of self-realization. But on the path of sense gratification, they are put into difficulty by the agency of Maya, the illusory energy, and so travel the path of a false plan of economic development. Such economic development is never successful because it is illusory. These men are always after the mercy of the illusory goddess of fortune, but they do not know that goddess of fortune can live only under the protection of Vishnu. Without Vishnu, the goddess of fortune is an illusion. We should therefore seek the protection of Vishnu instead of directly seeking the protection of goddess of fortune. Only Vishnu and the devotees of Vishnu can give protection to all. And because Maharaj Parikshit was himself protected by Vishnu, it was quite possible for him to give complete protection to all who wanted to live under his rule. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada has made it very clear here that approaching the Rama, the goddess of fortune, who's already she herself in her shelter of Lord Vishnu, who's the maintainer of all living beings. Not only one universe on this surface of planet, but the other planets as well. And there are hundreds and thousands of planets. And all of them are provided with all necessities of life for the progressive march towards the end of self-realization. So as Krishna says that he helps the one who wants to progress on self-realization, or who's moving towards the lotus feet of Krishna, who wants to understand his constitutional position or to serve Krishna as the servitor. So those devotees or those people are provided all necessities of life for their self-realization. But on the path of sense gratification, they are put into difficulty by the agency of Maya. So nowadays we have Navratri going on, and people celebrate Navratri on a very grand level. But this Maya in the 10th chapter, right, Prabhupada has mentioned that Maya is that which is not. So it's illusion. So if you worship Maya for the material maintenance, then it's illusion, because the material world is full of difficulties. So you can never be happy. But if you approach Maya, or if you worship Mahamaya, Durga, to approach or to progress in the path of bhakti, then you'll be helped. And that is the service, that is the true service of Maya for her Supreme Lord Krishna. So that's the way one should approach, one should celebrate Navratri, that that Mahamaya, Durga, should give them give them in intelligence to follow the path of bhakti, but not running after the things in material world, or not desiring something which can be very fragmental happiness. And Prabhupada is saying that all this economic development is never successful because it's illusionary. So as I just said, Maya is that which is not, so it's illusion. So the development in desiring from Maya in this world is illusionary, because Maya itself is illusion. And then these men are always after the mercy of illusory goddess of fortune, but they do not know that goddess of fortune can live only under the protection of Vishnu. So it made this very clear today when I was morning. Anisha Mataji has sent a link yesterday to join morning 5:30 for some Durga reading. I was very surprised that in ISKCON I've never heard worshipping Durga or worshipping Durga's Navroop. So I out of curiosity, I really wanted to join the class and see how it goes. But later when I joined, I heard one Mataji singing beautifully the glories of Ram Bhagwan. And then this made actually, I can connect this, that, because the goddess of fortune, the Maya, is actually always in the under the shelter of the Lord Ram, the Lord Krishna. So until we praise Krishna, or if we sing the stuti of Krishna, then Lord goddess of fortune is very happy. So that's the way to approach. So this point here by Prabhupada actually made it very clear to me that reading that in the morning, praising the Lord, because if we praise Lord Vishnu or Lord Ram, then goddess of fortune is always happy. And we should therefore seek the protection of Vishnu instead of directly seeking the protection of goddess of fortune. And only Vishnu and the devotees of Vishnu can protection to all. And because Maharaj Parikshit was a great devotee, he was born in a family of greatest devotees like Yudhishthira Maharaj, and was given a personal protection by Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, then it is quite possible for him to give complete protection to the world or to the people who wanted to live under his rule. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for reading and sharing. Very nice. Okay. So it's already 9 o'clock. Anybody else would like to make any final points before we conclude for today? Okay, great. So we'll end it here. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki.
God ki jai.
Okay, we'll chant Hare Krishna mantra 11 times. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hungry?
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna Pasand Bhai Vijay Patitanam
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः